guys, welcome back to another episode of Between Time Zones. I know it's been a while, but we are back and we are here with another interesting topic. And I'm your host, Paps, and I have with me a guest. You know him. It's been maybe 2 episodes with him. Welcome back, Brian.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us again. So today we are going to talk about some things we've never gotten used to since we came to America. So it's been a while since we've lived in America, but some things are still strange or weird, we would say. We also have a guest behind the scenes, a producer who will be chiming in. So if you hear a voice there, you'll know we have a guest there who will also be chiming into our conversation. I don't know how long you have to live in America to get used to some things before something stop feeling weird or strange. So the first thing that comes to mind for me is weather. I don't know. There's this obsession about weather in America. Every day you wake up, you look at the weather, and it's always about the weather. It determines how your day goes. Everybody's conversation starts with, oh, how's the weather today? Or how's the weather in your state and all that. Brian, have you noticed that?
Yeah. At work, that's whenever there's something out of the norm, like a storm, a blizzard, or anything, you'd probably hear first from a colleague before you actually know that thing is actually coming.
Yeah.
So, and every time I'm always surprised. It's, do you know, in 2 days, like on a Friday, there'll be this storm, and then now I have to, so it has to be part of your routine to actually look at the weather forecast every day for the next day.
Yeah.
If you're someone who maybe works outside, I think that's it for them. But for the rest of us, and then also if you have kids, then you have to think of what they'll be wearing the next day. Is it warm enough?
Yeah.
Especially during this like fall, spring, that period.
Yeah, when it's warm, then cold. And warm.
They call it like the weather is bipolar or something. So you never know how it's going to be the next day. Is it going to be raining? Is it sunny? Is it is it going to be cold?
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah, because when the kids wake up in the morning, they're like, Mom, what's the weather going to be today? Then they decide if it's shorts they're putting on or it's pants they're putting on or it's a jacket or a sweater or a hoodie.
Yeah.
I don't remember paying so much attention to weather when we were back home in Kenya.
I think because of the tropical conditions, it's not a thing.
Yeah.
So it's either it's raining or it's sunny. So I mean, if it's raining, it's raining.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. But when you add cold winter and everything, then you have to, and then you don't want kids going to school losing these jackets and stuff.
Yeah,
so whenever you can avoid having them having these sweaters and jackets, then you try to. So,
So what's the first weather condition or weather experience that you had in this country that was really shocking to you or caught you unaware? And was it the cold or was it something else?
It's like this storm. When you're working, you left the house in the morning. If you're working indoors and you haven't been out the whole day, and then you're leaving and there's rain, like just normal rain, and all of a sudden it's crazy. That's a storm.
Yeah.
So that thing it's crazy, and if you didn't know, it can really catch you off guard because the roads will be terrible. There'll be flooding.
Yes.
It's so unless you're using these major roads which have better drainage.
Yeah.
That's for me. That's a huge one because, and up to this point, they always catch me off guard unless I'm at home. These storms always get me on the road.
Oh my goodness.
So it's and you're driving and you can't see. It doesn't matter what you just can't see. So you have people on the side of the road. You don't even want to stop because you don't know for how long this thing is going to continue. So you might end up being there 2-3 hours. So you just drive into that thing, and that always gets me. Always.
And it's pretty scary. Like just the other day we were coming from South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, and we were caught in a storm that was very scary. And, we discovered that in one part of our state, it was actually really bad.
Yeah.
That it looked like a tornado touchdown. There were trees falling, electric poles falling. So that was pretty scary for me. And we were driving, we were all in the car with the kids, and the kids were scared. And honestly, we were scared too, but we couldn't show. We were like, oh, don't worry, guys, it's going to be fine. But honestly, we were like, oh, God, please help us, you know.
Did you guys know before you left that it was?
We did not know. But, you know, actually, all the kids, they keep tabs. And one of them actually mentioned, they're like, oh, you know, it looks like there's going to be a storm. And we had no way of even stopping because we were in the highway. And we're like, okay, we have to brave through this. So we went on and drove, and it was really bad. It was raining hard. There was lightning. You can't see. We actually had to pull over and stop for a while before we go on. And I've never really seen that kind of weather.
I remember
back
that
in Kenya.
Yeah, I remember that one. I was at work and I waited for it to like settle down. But then when you look at the weather, they try to be safe with what they're saying. They want to be at least, so they have that, like whatever, they might give it like a 2-hour range.
Yeah.
You know, expect this thing to end.
Yes.
You know, so when I looked at it, it didn't have any, like it wasn't clear. So I drove into it. It was bad. But like I said, they always get me on the road. So I mean, I just go slow.
Yeah.
But that one is a forget the snow. That one is a major one. That's a crazy one.
And it's interesting because it doesn't matter what time of the year it is. If it's winter, we have the snowstorms that come in. You know, if it's during the spring, you know, the heavy rain, and then summer we have all this tornado warnings, or you know, it's always something. You know, I think it comes down maybe during fall that's when it's like calm a little bit. But I understand the obsession with weather because the weather determines how the day goes for everyone.
And there's no explanation, as you said. I do not understand. I don't know, maybe geologists. Maybe our resident geologist over here. Do you like, what do you think? What happens? Why is it like this unpredictable weather, this storm, this blizzard?
I mean, again, guys, thanks for having me on your channel. Again, it's the nature of the unpredictability in this country, right? Like there are like several weather patterns in this country. So we're bi-coastal. You know, we're in the East Coast, we're in the West Coast. You know, we are in the South, and then in the Tundra region as well up north. And then Midwest, center of the country, the heartbeat of the heartland. So yeah, I guess that's the reason why.
Yeah. Wow. So what was your first snow experience? Do you remember how that was?
I think I remember the worst because I think I lost a car that day. So maybe that's why that's the only one. That's the worst one I remember because I didn't know how bad the roads can be, and just in between trying to get something, trying to earn something. I was like, I think I can drive into this thing. And then I didn't know. You just, you know, especially if you're going down, the car can do much. The brakes don't work. You're not supposed to like drive in a certain way. Afterwards, that's when I realized at work, explaining to people, they were like, I mean, if you don't know how to drive, you have to have grown here to actually know how to drive in the snow. The car doesn't matter. It's just how to. People know how to brake, how to, you know. So, you know, I veered off the road. There's nothing I couldn't do. There's nothing as bad as you're trying to step on the brakes and the car is not stopping. It's just going. So that was, I think that's why I remember that's the worst one I had.
And I think also when I tried to drive the first time, and you know, the roads were very slippery, you know, and I was going into the road and I'm stepping on the brakes and the car is just moving towards the road, and I'm lucky that, you know, no car was coming. So that was you know, crazy. Producer, you have something?
Yeah, guys, I don't know if you remember, but do you remember Snowmageddon, the massive historic blizzard that stuck in 2010? I know that's way back in the day, but there was unprecedented. The impact, you know, what happened, like the whole country, like basically the Mid-Atlantic region, the East Coast region it came to a standstill for like 2 weeks. That was nuts.
I remember that.
We were hunkered down for like 2 weeks at home. And we didn't have to go to work, and we were just shut down. That was crazy, right?
Was that the whole country?
It was the Mid-Atlantic region.
Oh, okay.
It was the East Coast region. Yeah, basically like half of the country. And that's where like the major activity, like the big stuff happens, like, you know, where that Snowmageddon hit.
How did you guys survive? I mean, food and stuff.
I remember we were prepared. We bought in advance. We stocked for water and food, but we really did not prepare for the long haul. So like I think 4 days into the blizzard, we started running out of water, and then we started running out of food, and then we had to go out into the store. And when you go into the store, you'll get there and everything is sold out. It was tough.
And before that, had there been anything similar, anything as bad?
There had been, but not at the scale that it happened.
Because I think maybe that one might have determined or affected how. Because right now I see whenever there's anything like a storm being reported, people are buying all these paper towels and tissue papers and water. They're like, so I always judge them. Like I'm like, why would you? I mean, you only need 2 or maybe 3. I mean, what would you do with a pack of tissue? It's so I think because of that experience, I understand now why people would go the extra mile to try and stock up on this
some
stuff.
people, yes. I mean, it's just you have to, it's like you're predicting. You don't know how long this will take or how this will go on. So you're just trying to be safe and make sure you stay alive with the food and everything. So and everyone keeps on. If you hear just a storm is coming, everyone runs to the store to buy everything. So the stores are usually empty at that point. So that has been something interesting that I've experienced myself, and I don't think I can ever get used to it. It's always something I'm like, oh my goodness, this is actually very strange. It's nothing that we'd experienced back home.
And I think with us living on the east side, I don't know about the viewers, anyone in the western side. I think for them it's more of heat, like extreme heat. The 100 plus. I don't know how. I mean, how bad can it get? They can't go out. They can't. There's not so much sunscreen you can apply for when it's 100 plus.
Oh yeah.
So with maybe they can tell us in the comments.
Yeah. Yes. Let us know, guys. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on from weather, something else that really I'm still struggling to get used to, and people have expressed that they're getting used to that, is the way people tell you their whole life story on the first instance.
Interaction, yeah.
There is so much oversharing, and I think we come from a kind of a closed community. I mean, where people keep to themselves, especially your personal stories. You're not going out to tell people your business. And it's like here, you're like, hi, how are you? Meet someone for the first time, and boom, they tell you everything about their lives. You're like, oh my God. Like, seriously, we just met. I don't need to know all that about your life. So, Brian, have you experienced that before?
I can't pinpoint to a specific one, but it's common. You speak to someone, and 2 minutes down, they stop saying their husband. They use their names. Like they say, they might use, for example, they might say David.
Yeah.
So, and then you end up feeling guilty because you're like, who's David? And if forget 2 minutes ago they told you David is their husband or David is their dog, or so on and so forth. So it's because, as you said, we're coming from a place where even your parents would tell you, do not just say the basic stuff. Do not overshare. Because of the beliefs, the customs, they some of them are some of them are unorthodox. But because when you look at these guys, they overshare and nothing happens to them. So whatever we're believing in, you kind of was it the right way? Is oversharing that bad? It's just that you have to have limits. But I think your family, like your immediate family, that's not something that you can hide. I think it's a conversation starter for most of them. And I think one thing why they overshare it's not among themselves, to like an immigrant, for example, someone who's interesting, in quotes, to them. I think it's because people are lonely, and after work, I think most people have no one to talk to. So the next person they'll meet at the store the next day, at work, a new person, anywhere, at the gas station, they just, if you make that mistake, in quotes, of asking how they are, you end up 17 minutes later deep in, this guy's uncle, and this guy's whatever. So it's it's crazy.
Yeah. It happened to me once when I was working in customer service, and I was, just helping a customer, and we hit it off with this lady, and she told me about, a little bit. We started talking, and she started telling me about her life. And 3 minutes in, 4 minutes in, I'm becoming like a counselor because she's telling me about her marriage is breaking up, and all that stuff. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, And she started crying, and I'm like, oh my god, like, and that was like I was new. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what do I do? So I just, I empathized. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And, after that, she used to come in all the time. And, we were like best friends. Like, hey, girl, are you doing okay? How's everything going? So, that was interesting to me. I'm like, for us back home, we are so conservative, especially if things to do with marriage and your personal life, what's going on with your spouse. You don't share that with strangers, let alone just family members.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to me that someone was willing to just put it all out. And as you said, I realized people are lonely.
Yeah,
People don't have
that's right,
friends. People don't have family. And whoever they meet out there is, someone they can talk to.
Yeah.
So it actually, made my job interesting because I kept, meeting people, and they would tell me their life stories. And I will try to listen and just be there for them.
Don't you think you're in the wrong career? You would have been a good therapist,
Well,
I think.
at this point, I think I'm qualified. After all the stories I've heard, I think I'm qualified.
Yeah.
Producer, you had something back there?
Yeah, for me, on that front, I've heard a lot of, over the years, I've had a lot of personal stories. And to be honest with you, the one that jumps to my mind, and I can't say exactly where it happened, I mean, I'll keep that to myself. This guy, I mean, we connected, and then after introductions, he unloaded his life in under 5 minutes. I mean, I was shocked. So this guy was going through a life-changing experience, and he had been diagnosed with a terminal disease, and his doctor had told him that he had 6 months to live.
Oh, wow.
So he was preparing to basically, it was at the end of life preparation.
Wow.
Okay, and so he was planning out, how his property was going to be shared out, his money, his savings, basically like writing a will. And so in the process, he wanted to divorce his wife before he died.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Wow.
He said by the time that he's gone, he wants to divorce his wife. He wanted to sell his house.
What?
He wanted to divest from his wife to to someone else. And so he was talking to me and sharing with me. And I mean, like, I didn't even have answers to this. This was strange. This was crazy. I wanted to feel sorry for him at the same time. But then I also wanted to listen to him.
Yeah.
And as you guys indicated, this is a very lonely country.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you just sit down and listen to somebody, that's healing already.
That's
So
true.
I listened to him, and then I just asked him to, listen, sit down, make your call, decide what you want to do. Weird enough, 6 months down the line, even 6 months, he was still alive. Like,
Yeah.
I saw him years later.
Oh my goodness,
And,
yeah.
I mean, like, it's crazy. He lives. I mean, I don't know where he lives like right now, but I mean, like, the 6 months that he had been given, I mean, he definitely lived beyond the 6 months. I'm just saying, but I mean, the information, the bombardment, the dumping of information, to me was shocking. I mean, somebody just telling you about
that's
their life
crazy.
in under 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It never happens from where we come from. Yeah.
Now I'm interested. I mean, did he give you like reasons why he was like that?
Yeah. Divorcing his wife
I
and
was really
stuff.
careful not to ask him because I mean the information from him was overwhelming.
Yeah.
But what he was very clear what he wanted to do. He wanted to divorce before he died.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he was not afraid to like tell you, because if it
was
was
not
you on the other side, I mean, even if you're given 6 months, you probably won't even talk
Yes.
from that point onwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for them, it's like another
crazy.
day. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think that has made us a little bit of oversharers ourselves, living here.
Yeah.
I do feel like I've become a little bit of an oversharer.
Yeah.
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 I feel like, when I meet people, I'm open to, telling them about my family, but I don't know. What do you think?
I think so, because then how will the conversation go on? It can't be just one-sided. They're telling you about this, they're expecting the same from you. They don't want they don't want it to be awkward. Of course, they'll tell you, I'm sorry if I'm too much.
Yeah.
But I think for you to continue the conversation, and it's just a conversation. I mean, what else? If you tell them about your family, what can they do?
Yeah.
There's not so much. It's just that we're coming from a place where, when this thing has been dumped on you year after year, 20, 30 years, that you can't say this, you can't say that. I mean, you end up, so it's the producer.
Yes.
Yeah, and I also want to think, I think oversharing was also, we've learned that it can be helpful as well. Because, because we come from a culture where we do not share. But, the moment that, we learn like oversharing is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
And then, so from experience and talking to people and oversharing in quotes, right? People have come up with, so for example, you're doing something in Kenya and you're, you're trying to do something here in America. And, in the processes of oversharing, somebody has given you very vital information to navigate.
Yeah.
That, yes.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so, yeah.
And actually,
That's a good one.
it's a very good one, because I feel like even at work, like we were sitting down in a group and we're just talking about things. And I think maybe I happened to mention that, I had a young baby at that point, and I was looking for a babysitter. And, out of nowhere, someone say, oh, you know what, my aunt has a daycare and, it takes care of kids. I'm like, oh, really? Oh, I've been looking everywhere, and everywhere is expensive. And this person hooked me up to their aunt, who was a very, very good person who took care of my son for years. And I'm really appreciative of that, just because of just that point of sharing what's going on with your life, what's stressing you at that point. And this person was able to help us find someone to take care of our kid for a long time. So in that aspect, that's really, and as the producer said, it's something, when you share about some of your projects that you're doing or something you're interested in, and someone says, hey, you know what, I know someone, and that opens doors for you. So oversharing is, although we still have boundaries when it comes to really personal stuff, I think that's something that we cannot get rid of, or because that's just the way we've been raised and it's something we hold close. You don't share everything, but just things, that's happening in your life, as you share it, you find someone who can help you with that. So have you experienced that, Brian?
Yeah. When he said about getting information after oversharing, in quotes, because amongst ourselves, I mean, just not a random, but just a fellow, maybe Kenyan, for example, if you guys were to meet and speak about, if you're renting, for example, you can't even mention how much you're paying.
Yeah.
So there was that one time there was a guy I was working with. We were not even close. And out of nowhere we were talking, and then I told him where I lived at that time, and he asked me how much I pay for rent. I mean, you would feel that it's
a personal question, right?
But I was like, I don't care. At that point, I didn't care, because already I'd gone through all these people telling me about their stuff. So I told him, I'm paying this much. And he was like, that amount, you shouldn't be renting, paying that amount. And that very, like, half an hour later, that thing, like, completely changed the way, that thing he said, 6 weeks later, I was done. Because I was like, this guy, he meant something. So I went, did my research, and I was like, yeah, this guy actually. So I went back to him and said, oh, so where do you live? This is where I live. This is how far I drive to work. And these are the reasons why you shouldn't be paying that much. This is it's a stranger, in quotes.
Yeah.
And this one, just because I gave him that answer, he took me to another different dimension and explained to me the reasons as to why I shouldn't be paying that much.
Yeah.
So if I kept that information to myself, I would still be in the same situation.
Yeah.
And when you think of it, there's other places you've said something that you didn't know that actually ended up helping you out. Like people looking for another job. In Kenya, for example, if you're hunting, or even over here, if you're looking for another job, you won't tell you won't tell anyone, for example. But they do. They'll tell you. They'll be like, I'm done here. I'm in the process of looking for something. They don't care what's going to happen. What's the worst that's going to happen? And in that conversation, you might end up getting something better for yourself too. Or these connections and networking, on a broader aspect. So yes, it is a good thing, I would say.
Yeah, and I feel like when I was working once in customer service and interacting with so many people, and I came across so many interesting people, so many people who dropped dimes, who dropped nuggets of wisdom and things that made me, my mindset change. And as you say, that thing of renting versus owning your own home. There's this gentleman who said, "Are you renting?" I'm like, "Yeah, we are renting." Like, "Oh no, you shouldn't. That's like throwing money in a pit." That's not to say that's actually the truth, but kept me thinking. I'm like, you know what, maybe I should look into this, and it stuck with me, and it's interesting just having different conversations with people, and just that oversharing aspect, has influenced a lot of my thoughts and driven me to kind of think about some things in a different way. So it's not all that bad. So although it's sometimes I'm like, oh, this is too much for me. I can't handle it. But, other times it's like, oh, wow, this is great, So moving on to something else, unless you have something else to add on that.
I think, yeah.
Okay. So again, when I guess it relates to this still, but when did you realize that the greeting, like how are you, is actually just a greeting? It's not like how are you, and then you go like, oh, I am good, my family is good, and my,
Every Monday, there's a guy I work with. He's gonna say the same thing, and he's gonna tell me how his weekend was. That's from Friday to Monday morning, and he's gonna do it every Monday, regardless of if I tell him fine or whether I give him whatever. I tell him what happened. So I have to, like, whenever before I see him, I have to like prepare my thoughts, and I'm like, oh, this question is gonna come, so I need to tell him what I did, where I went.
How was your weekend?
How my weekend was. It's just not just another. It was good.
Okay.
This is what we did.
Oh.
This is what happened. You had a fight with your wife or your husband or whatever. It's gonna give you. So I have no choice but to be ready for that question with the correct answers, to at least not be like, just a guy who, you're not responsive.
Right.
So it's not just a how are you, like it's something else.
But that's very
it's good.
Rare.
Yeah.
It's good, but rare too, because I feel like in this country it's like, how you doing? I'm good, and you? That's it. So how you doing is a greeting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's like hi, hello, jambo. That's it. So how you doing is not like how are you doing, like tell me how you're doing.
Tell me how you're doing, yes.
So for some people, which you have mentioned, your workmate, it's very rare and very nice, and that's we appreciate that. But so some people, everywhere you go, the office, everywhere, how you doing?
Okay,
how you doing? How you doing? Yeah, before you realize it, maybe the first time you're like, how are you doing? I am fine. My family is fine. We went here, we went there. And then the person is looking at you like, oh, I didn't need to know all that. So
it's fake for them, in quotes. It's like they're just doing it. It's just
it's a greeting. Yeah. How you doing is a greeting. So, and they expect you to say good. How you doing? And then good. Then that's the end of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Have you ever answered like to someone and then they're like, oh. Okay. I can't, because I think I try to do the same to like people who there's not much going on. Yeah.
I would try to just it's good. How are you? And that's it. Because even at the store. Yeah. Because you're going to the store and you meet the same people are working there, right?
Yeah.
So they know you by that time. But you don't talk beyond, unless it's very rare. I mean, 10% of the time you'll have someone who, hey, and I haven't seen you in a while, you know, were you on vacation or something?
Yeah.
That's very, you know, it happens once out of 10 times maybe, but for everyone else, it's like, hey, how are you? And I think in customer service, maybe it's how they are taught to do, smile to these people, just ask them, you know, you don't really have to care about them, but just to get that customer coming back, just you know, that's something. It's like, just say it.
And that's also something else, the enthusiasm in customer service, and just people, you know, hey, how you doing today, you know, how can I help you? Like, the enthusiasm is a lot. I don't think I remember back home, you know, having that experience in stores. Like, you know, in a store, you get in, you get what you need, and you're out. Nobody saying, oh, hey, thank you for coming. Oh, you know, there's so much enthusiasm here, the customer service aspect of it.
And like anyone in the service, anyone who provides a service, or maybe they're in the retail industry, like the previous episode you had nurses. I mean, I would be curious next time when you have them to hear from them about, they keep this positive attitude at work, and it doesn't matter what they're going through. But when you look at where we're coming from, in Kenya, for example, nurses are, you know, they like how they are, they just dampen everything on you. They're like the worst people in quotes. But over here, it doesn't matter what they're going through. They'll be smiling and, you know, being concerned and whatever. So I don't know how they handle it. It's like at the drive-through, this person is always joyful. Hey, how may I help you? I don't know. What do you want? It's do you want this? Do you want that? For me, sometimes I struggle to explain what they want, and they're just there. They just, you know, they keep on like, oh, so what do you mean? Let's start afresh. So I'm like, I can't be this patient. I know myself, I just cannot. So it's it's funny, and it's it's something. It's not just a mere how are you or how you're doing. But I think in the retail industry and like service, when you're providing a service, I think you have to, and it's a good way. I think for sales and everything, I think you have to be that way.
And I did work in service, and I think we're trained like that, but also you just adopt to how the people are around you. You know, that's how service is, and you learn to, you know, to be over extra appreciative of people who've come to purchase something from there, and just show them good customer service. So that was interesting too.
We haven't heard from the producer as to have you been in, you know, those two whatever situations where
for me, I've been in both, where you say hi and then there's way more you know, dumping of what happened, and then it's just a curt hi and that's it. So I've experienced both worlds.
Okay. Then I think the last thing we'll cover as we wind up is, you know, I feel like everything is so scheduled here. Everything has to have a schedule. Oh, we need to plan that coffee date. Oh, you need to stop at my house at this time. So I don't know. There's no random people stopping by at the house and things like that. So when's the last time someone showed up at your house? But unless now you have your fellow Kenyans around you. So,
never. They would never show up. They would, and then they would keep time. I mean, where we, you know, from Kenya, I mean, if you tell someone 4 p.m., that means 5 or maybe 6. But for them, if you make the mistake of telling them the party starts at 2 p.m., and you're not even ready, you know, so you have to at least give yourself that buffer. You know yourself. So if it's 2 p.m., just tell them 4 p.m. to be safe, because they would show up a minute before and wait for 2 p.m.
And I'm
then
laughing because I'm remembering, you know, a party we recently had, and we had, you know, guests from this country, and they came right on time. So you actually have to make the party right on time. So I mean, I like that, but sometimes, you know, we'd like a little buffer. But that's interesting, the way everything is so scheduled, and you just have to schedule. And life is a lot more organized.
You need that spontaneity, of course, but I think for them it keeps, because that scheduling thing can be boring too. If you have to like plan everything, you know, Saturday at this time, Sunday at this time, because some, you know, with with kids, with other things, something happens. Something can happen on
Right.
Friday,
Right.
and you have to, but for them, if they scheduled something at this time, nothing else matters to them. Someone can even die. They don't. It's not. They don't even care. They'd show up. If it was a coffee date, they'll show up.
Yeah.
But for you,
Yeah.
something little can happen that would, of course, make sense to alter this meeting,
Right.
and you'd change it. So, I mean, it's tricky.
Yeah.
I think our producer has something.
Yeah, let me add into that. So, scheduling, I think the reason why scheduling is a big deal is because every time somebody makes time for you is a sacrifice.
Okay.
He's giving up something for you.
Okay.
Okay? Because time is money. Time is not money in Kenya.
Yeah.
We have all the time in the world
Yeah.
back there. So, when somebody schedules something, he means it.
Yeah.
And it means they value you. They want to spend time with you.
Yeah.
They want to like you indicated coffee date. So it's they want to, that time they have to plan it out, they carve time out, and then they want to meet you and interact with you and build some friendship or something.
Yeah.
So and we take that for granted back in Kenya. So here is different because when somebody comes to your house or when you meet for dinner or coffee, whatever, they have to give up something in order for them to come and meet with you.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's funny the way they even do it on their calendar. I mean, I would never put even a birthday. I wouldn't put it on my calendar. But for them, let me check my calendar, and it's just a mere coffee date. Oh, okay, I think I'm available 1 to 2. We can, we can meet.
Yeah.
But when you think of it, it's good discipline because we end up forgetting all these things.
Yeah.
You're sitting, chilling at home, and someone was waiting for you, or waiting for your call or something. So it is a good thing, I think, when you think of it.
And I think I'm adapting to that as well. Just planning everything, putting everything on the calendar. It makes things more organized and easier. And I mean, there's a lot more things that, we're still trying to get used to. Some things are still weird to some of us who came here although it's been a long time we've been living here. So I don't know what that thing is for you. Put it in the comments and let us know what is that thing for you. So thank you for joining us in this episode. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, producer in the back. And just join us for the next episode. Like, share, subscribe, and see you next time. Thank you.